everybody, this is a vlog that I promised I'd make to quite a few people, and maybe if you fall under the kind of aimed at category, it would be helpful for you. And it's going to be a vlog on starting university, because I know in the next couple of weeks loads and loads of my viewers will be moving out for the first time and starting uni, and obviously I did that last year. And people said it would be helpful if I could give some of my advice. So I've actually planned out a few different vlogs, and there's kind of different sections and different aspects of the first few months at uni. So I'm going to do the first one today, and hopefully over the course of September all of the others will be uploaded too. And the first one is advice for moving into halls. If you're in America, that's like dorms. It's, when you live in accommodation on the university campus. But I'm sure you can adapt this to if you're living in a house with people too. But I've kind of done this based on my own experiences. Before I start, I just want to say my halls were different to most others. Most halls of residence at uni are in a flat, and there's about 8 people in the flat, and you kind of feel quite self-contained, and you have a kitchen for those 8 people, whereas mine was more like a hotel, and it was just like corridors, and there was kitchens dotted along, and you could choose whichever kitchen. So rather than kind of advice for your flat, mine's a bit more towards what I experienced, but I'm sure you can adapt it so that it suits whatever you will be doing at university. So I'm going to start and give you some of my tips for moving into halls. My first tip is one that someone told me that I was really glad I followed, and that is bring loads of stuff to put on the walls. Especially if you're moving out for the first time, you don't want to feel like you're in just this strange room. So I really recommend bringing pictures and posters, fairy lights, anything. And the first thing you should do, in my opinion, when you get there, before you unpack, is put things on the walls, because it means that you'll already kind of feel like you're settling in even before your wardrobe is full up, which I do think is really important. I had a whole photo wall at my uni that if you've watched my vlogs previously, you'll probably remember seeing. And it's just really nice to have like things that make you even in a room that you've never been to before. So I think that's quite important, that one. Second piece of advice is bring a door stop. As soon as you are in your room, well, as soon as you walk through the door for the very first time, prop your door open, because everyone will be moving in, and by having your door open you'll just see people, you'll get eye contact, you just smile. You don't have to make conversation, but it's just nice to see people and for them to see you. I think it's like a really good way to kind of build bridges really early, like, because you'll recognise them later and you can go and say, oh, I saw you earlier, and it's just a really good way to make friends. Third piece of advice is wear something that reflects your personality, just so it can start a conversation. If you wear like a band t-shirt, or in my case it was my old Converses that are my favourite shoes in the world, just something that people can come up to you and comment on. And again, it's a really good way to find people that you've got stuff in common with straight away. The fourth piece of advice is also on clothes, and I remember having a conversation with my sociology teacher before I went to university, and she said to me one of the hardest decisions you will ever make is what to wear on your first day of uni, because like I said in my previous point, the clothes you wear can instigate conversation, so you do feel very conscious of the message you're sending out straight away. But the piece of advice I would give around this is to make sure whatever you choose to wear you're 100% comfortable, because if you're paranoid about any aspect of your outfit, it's just a worry that you really don't need. So don't worry about like looking cool or trying to be trendy. Like, just wear what you're gonna be relaxed in, because it is a stressful day. Like, it's an amazing day, but it's also going to be stressful, and you don't want anything that's going to increase that stress in any way. So don't worry about wearing high heels, just wear like your favourite tracksuit bottoms, and you'll feel much better for it, I promise. This is something I did that I'm really pleased I did, because it really worked. And basically, as soon as I was unpacked and as soon as I said bye to my parents, I went and I started knocking on the doors of people who lived around me. First thing I did was go opposite to my friend Michael, and he's now one of my best friends, and then he joined me on the knocking quest, and we went to the next person, and then they joined us, and in the end you have a really like big group, and this is when you've only been in halls for about half an hour, so it's a really good way to see loads of faces in a short space of time. And it's definitely a good idea to try and recruit as many people as you can as you go around, because that way the group's bigger, you'll feel more comfy, and it's just a really nice atmosphere for everyone to kind of go into it together. My 7th point is quite a basic one, but it's really, really important when you're in a situation like this, and that is just smile at everyone. And it really doesn't matter if you don't stop for a conversation, but when you smile at someone and they smile back, you cannot deny it makes you feel better. Like, even if you're already in an amazing mood, when someone smiles at you that you even don't know, it's a really good feeling. So I think it's really, really important when you first move into halls, like when you're walking down the corridor, just smile at people. I'm not saying you need to strike up a humongous conversation, but you really do need to just look friendly, look approachable, because it makes other people feel better. And again, like I mentioned before, you'll see these people around at other times and you'll just feel more comfortable, and it's just more friendly that way. And it sounds cheesy, but you know, as I said, you're really chucking yourself in the deep end when you move into halls of residence, so anything that can make the process easier is really, really important. This point is kind of like an accumulation of all the things I've said already in this vlog, but it is throw yourself into it as much as possible. Just go and explore, look around all the corners, because if you're like me and are in corridors, there'll be some rooms that aren't as central, and you want to make sure that you know where these people are, because you know, if they're right at the end, they might not have seen many people, they might feel a bit more nervous, you know, so make sure that you throw yourself into it, go and look around properly, try and be chatty and confident, and go and talk to everyone you see, because you know, you don't know what people are going to be feeling, because however nervous you feel, there's going to be people that are more nervous than you. And I think chucking yourself into the deep end and just doing it and putting yourself out there is really, really, really important. And also, on that note, when you chuck yourself in the deep end, that does not mean ring mummy every 10 minutes. Try not to phone home at the beginning, because you might feel homesick and you might think, oh, I need to speak to people at home, but it will just make you feel worse. Honestly, you really just need to kind of like tunnel vision and get through it. Once you've got through like the first difficult bit, you will never look back. So don't make it harder for yourself by kind of pining for what's at home. You know, drop your mum a text to let her know you're okay, but don't put yourself through having to hear their voices and making you upset, because I promise, however homesick you feel, it passes. And everyone feels homesick sometimes, but it really doesn't last at all, and before you know it, you'll be having an amazing time. And the last piece of advice I want to give for people moving into halls of residence is to remember that everyone is in the same boat as you. There is not one person who won't feel a bit apprehensive, there's not one person that isn't going to feel nervous, and the most important thing is there is not one person who is not going to want to make friends. So like, really, you should have no worry about, you know, will I be able to make friends at uni, or will I have the confidence? Because you've just got to remember that every single person is in this place for the first time. They don't know people. They might know one person from school, but everyone is in the same boat, and everyone is there to make friends and to have an amazing time, especially during Freshers Week. So just keep that at the front of your mind and be confident and be friendly, and I absolutely promise in halls of residence you will have the time of your life. I'm sitting right now in my bedroom in my new flat that I've moved into because I'm starting second year on Monday, and I am sitting here pining for halls. I'm living with two of my best friends from halls, and we've got a lovely flat, but honestly, halls was the best year of my life so far, and I would do anything for another year there. So I'm just amazingly jealous of every single person who is about to move into halls, and I just really hope you will make the most of it, have an absolutely incredible time, and just chuck yourself into it, because it's going to be absolutely amazing, I promise. So yeah, that's the first part of my advice for university vlogs. If anyone else has any advice that, you know, you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, then feel free to leave it in comments so that other people can read it. And in the next week or so, I will have my next video up. It will probably be in less than a week, because I don't want to make it too late for people, but it's going to be advice for Freshers Week. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully that will be helpful too. And yeah, so everyone who's moving into uni, have a good time saying goodbye to your hometowns and packing up your stuff if you're moving out, and I will see you all soon.